we started an exercise about 5 months ago, maybe. Myself, Lynetta, Kid, and Paul Ramon mainly. And we were looking at what we could do to make the resources we have go further. And when we really looked at the blight and the different data that we had that talked about code concerns throughout the city, we realized that we just don't have enough people. And so we began looking at an idea of how to augment or manifest an argument to augment additional staffing based on the data that we had to rely on. So what we did is we looked at the census tracts that had the largest amount of case concerns, and then we looked at how many officers were assigned to those census tracts currently, and then we thought to ourselves what would be the best case scenario, and in some of those we felt like we needed to have one code officer per census tract. So we identified 27 census tracts, came up with 27 officers. Then we felt that we had good data, but we knew that in some of the census tracts, people are not predisposed to complain about code violations. So we felt that we needed a bit of cushion, if you will, beyond the 27 to help us fill in those gaps. And so we asked for an additional 4. We also wanted to leverage the vision contained in a video that I played at the council from Sacramento County. It was basically set up on the idea that the smaller the area the code officer had, the more time the officer had to dedicate to that area. If you've been watching what's going on in terms of the city manager's goals, there's a number of goals, I want to say about 6 or 7, specifically for code compliance. One of them, for example, is helping the city come up with a noise enforcement program. And this relates to commercial noise, so this is clubs, pubs, bars, but it's also residential as well. We've started already what we would call an entertainment team, comprised of code officers. Fire helps us out, DPD and POs also help us out, and we've been proactively patrolling Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday nights in our entertainment districts, and passing out information, observing how businesses operate, listening to the noise and the music that's coming from these properties, and engaging with the owners. And it's resulted, I think, in some positive results. This past weekend, as I read the report, I don't think there were any complaints related to noise as it relates to commercial establishments. Those are the kind of creative ways that we're looking at how code can augment DPD's desire and requests to deal with some of these nuisance-related issues that may not necessarily be a law enforcement issue, but may be something that code can help out with. We're going to begin, first of all, by surveying most of these stores in the city to see if they're registered. And then what will happen is this team will get trained by DPD on convenience store enforcement, and there's going to be things like CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design. You're going to have to become thoroughly familiar with COs, and you'll also be able to address, I think, substandard issues, substandard building issues. I'm going to be asking the council to consider where we require certain people to register their properties, whether it be a vacant building or a vacant lot. And again, the idea is if we can get information on who owns a property in real time, some of the problems I think that we have may be dealt with quicker and more efficiently. It essentially has 3 tiers. The first tier is a property owner who does a good job and maybe never has a code issue. The second tier would be one where you've received 2 notices of violation, you didn't correct them within 6 months. Now you're required to register. The third level is one where you receive 3 citations within, I think it's 6 months, or 3 notice of violations that you don't correct within 6 months. That is what we would call a problem property. And at that level, now you're required to have a monthly monitoring, which you will pay for. You guys have done an outstanding job. I couldn't be prouder. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. I can't even express that enough. You rose to the level that you were called to respond to, and you did an excellent job. And we continue to do an excellent job. Stay strong, stay confident. I still think that we're going to be the best code agency in the state of Texas if we're not already there. We're probably pretty close to it.